April 22, 2025. Kashmir's Pahalgam, a serene haven nestled in the Himalayas, renowned for its breathtaking beauty and attracting tourists from across the globe, became the site of a shocking and brutal massacre, an event that would forever scar the region. Gunfire shattered the peace that had, for a time, begun to settle over the valley, as militants callously targeted innocent civilians. Families enjoying their vacation, couples seeking romantic getaways, travelers eager to explore the beauty of Kashmir, leaving 26 dead in its wake, a scene of unimaginable horror. This heinous attack broke a long-standing, unwritten rule, a fragile understanding that tourists, regardless of their origin, were off-limits, considered neutral in the conflict. This was because tourism sustained countless Kashmiri livelihoods, providing income and stability to the local population. The massacre was not a random act of violence, but a calculated message, a deliberate attempt to destabilize the region. It sent a chilling signal that no one was safe, and every established norm and understanding could be violated with impunity. Blood stained the meadows of Pahalgam, symbolizing the utter collapse of the government's carefully constructed narrative of normalcy and peace in the region. The attack was universally condemned as an act of terrorism, a direct and brazen challenge to the authority of the state, and a devastating blow to the painstaking years of peace-building efforts and reconciliation. Fear and uncertainty swiftly returned to the valley, gripping the residents in a renewed sense of anxiety, undoing the hard-won trust that had been so carefully nurtured between communities and the government. Pahalgam's tragedy marked a dark and ominous turning point for Kashmir, casting a long shadow over its future. In the aftermath, the resistance front claimed responsibility, then abruptly denied it, blaming a cyber attack. Indian officials dismissed the denial, linking the attack to Lashkar-e-Taiba and recent diplomatic tensions. The tangled claims highlighted the murky world of Kashmir militancy, where attribution is elusive and disinformation rampant. Analysts suggested the TRF's reversal was driven by public outrage and pressure from Pakistan, wary of global backlash. The truth remained obscured, but the damage to lives and trust was undeniable. The massacre plunged India-Pakistan relations into crisis. India, blaming Pakistan, launched military strikes across the line of control and into mainland Pakistan, targeting alleged terror camps. Pakistan retaliated, claiming civilian casualties and downed jets, escalating tensions to the brink of war. Both sides traded accusations as the world watched anxiously, fearing nuclear conflict. Pakistan offered a joint investigation, but India, citing past failures, refused. The confrontation exposed the fragility of peace and the volatility of unresolved grievances. The Pahalgam attack had brought the subcontinent dangerously close to disaster. The brutal attack sent shockwaves through the Kashmir Valley. Kashmiris responded with profound grief and a palpable sense of outrage. The mourning was deep, and the anger even deeper. Demonstrations erupted, with citizens protesting not against India, but directly against the militants and the violence they perpetrated. They carried banners, voicing their condemnation. Political leaders and community citizens alike condemned the heinous attack, speaking out with one voice against the bloodshed. The attack cast a long shadow, with many fearing for their future, their livelihoods, and the very survival of the tourism industry, a vital lifeline for the region. The massacre, in its tragic wake, united the valley in a rare display of solidarity, bridging divides and fostering a sense of shared purpose. People from all walks of life joined together, rejecting violence as a self-destructive path that only leads to further suffering. Internationally, the attack drew swift and widespread condemnation from governments and organizations across the globe. There were immediate calls for accountability, demanding that those responsible be brought to justice for their heinous crimes. The gravity of the situation prompted the UN Security Council to convene an emergency session to address the escalating crisis. Nations worldwide increased diplomatic pressure on Pakistan, urging them to sever all ties with militant groups operating within their borders. In the face of this tragedy, India gained a surge of international sympathy and support for its fight against terrorism. Pakistan, on the other hand, faced renewed international scrutiny and increasing diplomatic isolation as a result of the attack. The global response to the massacre underscored a growing and unified intolerance for terrorism in all its forms. It also highlighted a strengthened commitment to dismantling terror networks and eliminating safe havens that allow them to flourish. The Pahalgam attack, a brutal intrusion into a serene landscape, shattered the fragile illusions of peace that many held for Kashmir. It was a stark reminder of the underlying tensions simmering beneath the surface. It exposed the limits of security-driven policies, revealing their inadequacy in addressing the deeper roots of the conflict. The attack highlighted the need for a more comprehensive approach, and the disturbing adaptability of militancy, showcasing its ability to evolve and exploit vulnerabilities despite ongoing counterinsurgency efforts. India's military response, swift and decisive, reset the rules of engagement, signaling a new phase in the conflict. This escalation raised the risk of future, potentially catastrophic escalation between nuclear rivals India and Pakistan, adding a dangerous dimension to an already volatile situation. The attack deepened existing mistrust between the two nations, hardened previously negotiable positions, and tragically dimmed any remaining hopes for meaningful dialogue and peaceful resolution. For the Kashmiri people, caught in the crossfire, it was a devastating setback, threatening their already fragile livelihoods and crushing their long-held dreams of a return to normalcy and stability. Local condemnation of the attack showed a growing exhaustion and frustration with the seemingly endless cycle of conflict and violence. But further escalation only served to prolong their suffering and deepen their despair. The tragedy served as a stark reminder of how seemingly localized acts of violence can quickly trigger global crises, with far-reaching consequences that reshape the delicate balance of geopolitics on a global scale. Without genuine and sustained political solutions that address the root causes of the conflict, Kashmir's tragic cycle of violence and the dream of reclaiming its lost paradise will tragically endure, casting a long shadow over the region's future.